We'd like to continue further clarifying the other mandala. And in the beginning, all these connections are the beginning of the study. It's the definition of geometrical unity, as you said, the points in space that allow us to experience the 7 centers and allow us to experience our sense of equilibrium being our sense of expansion. So gravity, expansion, and equilibrium are one and the same. I would like to clarify and do a slow motion for you the path with one arm, the path of infinity's gate, just for you to see it. So if we begin in 0 point and we complete in crown, just to begin the movement and the momentum, I would like to do a very, very slow motion, okay? So foundation, 1, 2, and just see where it goes. And it goes now to infinity, right there. Infinity is the point that I extend myself through it. And this is count 2, a rubber count 2. It's very important because through the length of my arms, I want you to experience that the arms are extended, but they are not locked. See, if I lock my arms too much, I push in, back into myself, and I can't open the centers anymore. So in Unity in Motion, we learn these extensions of the arm called an arc. We call it an arc because it never pushes into the socket or into it locks the elbow. It opens the elbow, it opens the wrist, it opens the shoulder, and inside of that opening is the hips. Not only is only that this creates the transversal connection, but allow my chest, throat, and head to be able to extend themselves completely through it, right there. And then from here, from infinity, as I move from the crown forward a little bit, I get to begin to define the connection called crown, which is the connection called expansion. Expansion will become very familiar with you through the study because it's the centralization of your heart as it passes through the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, and the fingers, and it creates a line of connection that is infinite, completely. Yeah? Because in here, you will notice that if we open myself too much, then I press in. So just the connection of it, and then crown, mandala crown, is the same definition of crown that we did before, but the spine is a little bit more forwardly a little bit. It's not fully extended as it was in crown before. So it's called mandala crown because it's more natural if you make the movement, because it creates the whole connection of yourself in 3 dimensions, right here. Beautiful. So now I would like to do the movements for a while without stopping, and remember that infinity will always be count 2. Expansion will be count 4, and then you have 4 counts to come to crown, mandala crown. Okay? So 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I complete in crown because that's where I initiate the movement. And I initiated 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Complete. 1, 2, 3. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I'm going to stop for a second here. 4. Very good. Now I move forward from the crown and the entire center of gravity to allow me to come back to expansion, which will be right here. The expansion of my heart, right there. Then I move even more forward from the entire center to allow me to come back to mandala crown, which is right here, from which the movement initiates again to complete itself. Crown, 3 and 4. And now we complete the 5th movement into 0 point, and here we are. We'll continue for a few moments more to expand the nature of the arcs, and then in infinity and expansion and crown. Remember that in this motion, the inner outer mandala, we call it, is because we're defining the inner relationship of the 7 centers as it is get experienced from the outer form of the movement. So when we come back, when I start from foundation and we do infinity skate, the energy races through the pelvic floor, chest, throat, head, crown. So I am in the crown when I'm connecting to the arc. And the arc is the connection through the transversal connection, is centralized at the solar plexus. And then as the energy moves forward through the crown and we descend from infinity to expansion, from crown I'll get to touch the center of the head, which will be right here, for example. A few inches through the motion, that's the centering of the head. And right now will become the center of the throat, and then here becomes the center of the chest. So from here I go from crown to the head, to the throat, to the chest, right there. And now when I'm descending from here, going from this arc to mandala crown, I'm returning back to the throat, to the head, or to the crown, if you wanted to put it. Or I could say also the front expansion. I'm going back to the solar plexus, I'm going back to the pelvis and to the pelvic floor. And the centers from above, the crown, the throat, and the heart are always mirroring the solar plexus, the pelvis, and the pelvic floor. And in the connection of infinity, remember always that we said there is an arc. It means, again, as we said, that we don't lack the joints, but we extend ourselves through the whole length of the arm. When you're descending then from crown, you will notice as you practice that you will touch the center of the head, and you will touch the throat, and you will touch here your heart. This connection is good for you to practice a little while, because it is the point of the natural extension of the center of your heart. It's not above the heart, it's at the center half of the heart, above and below, right here. It's not below the heart. So you will begin to discover the exact point that correspond to the center of your heart. Very important. And you will begin to discover then that that's exactly the same plane and level that the suspended diamond was. The point of the suspended diamond is exactly the same as the level of expansion. Furthermore, you will begin to discover in Unity in Motion that all the movements are made up of either diamonds, they will become spheres, which we haven't learned yet, and then the spheres will become arcs. So you will always be moving from a diamond to a sphere to an arc, and then from an arc you will come back to a sphere, you come back to a diamond, and so on and on and on. So you will always be in any of the 3 forms. What those 3 forms ensure is that you're always moving through the centers, you're always moving 3-dimensionally, and you're always engaging your whole body, even though in this particular situation in the chair, seemingly we are activating more the torso, the arms, and the whole spine, less than the legs. But the legs are really actually connected through the floor, and as we practice the movement standing, you will be able to utilize much more of the movement of the legs as well. Okay?